Hi, tribe. Welcome to Your Drum Your Way. We have a very, very, very special guest, Tariq Bennett. We go way back like 8 tracks, and he is a problem solver, a tech guru, and an entrepreneur, and a really great designer of a new app that we're going to talk about called Remember When. Tariq, welcome to the show.
Hi, Meredith.
How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm super, super excited. So let's dive in. So first thing I want to talk about is just for you to give us a background of yourself. And I know that you and I were talking, and you're from San Diego, California, very close to my hometown, LA, California. I'm not going to say California is the best state, but I'm just saying I'm going to put it out there and see what happens. So talk to me just about your beginnings, and talk to me about what it was like growing up in San Diego.
San Diego was cool. It's a very laid-back town. Uh, like a lot of Southern California, a lot of beaches. It's kind of chill. It's not the same as LA. It's not the same as the Bay Area. It's very different. People are very relaxed there, and so I think that I got a little bit of that. Just the calm demeanor from there.
Okay. And so while you were there, you were working this government job, right? And when we were talking about it, that kind of was your trigger point to just say, you know what, something else has got to change. So talk to me a little bit about what that experience was like.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they don't necessarily outgrow their town, but they want to make moves. And I was really just bored. I knew there are other things that I wanted to do, and when I visited the Bay Area, I knew that there are a lot of people up here want to change the world, want to do things, and so that's what I was interested in. And so I kind of moved up north, and I liked it. I've been liking it ever since I've been here.
Nice. And so we met at University of California, Davis.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Go Ags. Go Ags. Put that out there. But while you were there, you were studying really behavior, and you noticed that there was a problem with people and confidence. So you had this idea, and I'm curious about your process and your journey on how you discovered and how you figured out that you wanted to create this app, Remember When.
Okay. So I've always been interested in behavior. When I was at Davis, I studied neuroscience, and but I kind of later on moved into technology a little bit. But I'm kind of the type of person who always wanted to contribute or help people figure out some way for people to improve themselves. And so I was at a hackathon that was like a social good hackathon, something to help people regarding mental illness and things like that. And I just showed up. Someone invited me. I just showed up, and I do a lot of reading. I read a lot. I'm about a block away from a library, and so this book I read, which was really interesting to me. This guy had done all these studies, and they worked to help people alleviate depression. And so I thought maybe we could put this into an app, and it can help people. We can make it free or relatively inexpensive, and thousands or maybe millions of people can improve their lives, can feel better about themselves. And so I kind of just thought of the name there, just Remember When, and it just came to me really fast. And the whole design of the app was things I had thought about a long time ago, but kind of just came to me. It kind of just came out as I started to design the app. Like things I thought about years ago were just like, oh yeah, that fits perfectly here. So I just designed it. We kind of did the hackathon there, but then I took it offline and kept working on it, and released it kind of in August earlier this year.
Nice. So let's dig a little bit deeper into the app. So it's an app, and give us a little bit more details about like the purpose of it, and what does it do, and how does it work?
Okay, so the scientist who thought of who ran the studies said basically at the end of your day you should ask yourself what went well today, and why did it go well, and just reflect on some of the more positive things that happened to you. Mm-hmm. Because everyone tends to focus on the negative. And so what the app does is it just, at the end of the day, you set the time, and it asks you, like, what went well today? And you can also record some of your other accomplishments in the app, things that you're proud of. You know, you can set your own categories. So if it had to do with family, or if it had to do with work, or it had to do with your community, or just learning different things yourself. And so when you start to collect all of these different accomplishments, you start to have evidence of your own accomplishments, and that are some of the most convincing things of ways to improve your self confidence and self advocacy, things like that. So I don't know, it's worked for me. I've used it and I love it. So
Yeah. So, and is it available just on iPhones, or is it available on Droids and iPhones?
it's just available on iPhones right now. I want to make it really good. I want to make it perfect before I release it on Android.
Okay, fair enough. I get that. Okay, so the app, which I've played around with myself, which is super cool, is that at every single day it is helping you track and helping you remember these moments where you had wins. So this is where you came up with this ideology of remember when. I'm curious, do you have any advice about what are some tips to help problem solve when you're kind of combating negative things? So I know that definitely writing things down and just having a conscious and really a visual representation of all of the great things that I've done personally works. But what are some other tips that you can give people?
Um,
Um,
there are a few things you can do.
yeah,
Your accomplishments, reminding yourself of your accomplishments is number one. But also, if you can just read or learn about other people who are similar to you, who are also doing positive things, that is very, very helpful. That's the second most helpful thing that can happen. And also, just your general being happy about other things kind of can translate over into general happiness. And so I've been focusing on the main two, on trying to help people figure out uh, other positive stories, like other positive friends' stories, anything just reading about people who've achieved things or who are doing things similar to you. That and just going back and looking back at things that you have done. That's really helpful a lot of times because you forget.
yeah. Yeah, I know I forget. And then I luckily have Remember When app, and then I'm like, oh, I did that awesome thing, like graduate from school. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
So like, and especially like it'll remind you randomly too. So if it was one of the things that you are especially proud of, like a week later or a month later, it'll remind you and say like, remember that one thing you did, and then it's pretty. When you get to surprise yourself with something that you've done, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, it is cool. Okay, so what are 3 to 5 steps or 3 to 5 points of advice that you would give my tribe? Um, some advice about how you can overcome negativity, because I think that that's one of the big things that you're really passionate about too is self-confidence, but then also coupling it with something that's really, really positive. So what's something 3 to 5 things that people can do to overcome it?
I think reading helps. Just seeing how famous or other people that you admire you've seen how they actually struggle with. You don't when you think of someone famous or someone who's accomplished, you don't really imagine all the struggles that they've gone through. But you can find a book about them, and especially if there's someone that you really care about or you really admire, it'll really help you to see that this person. A lot of times they think they were lost. They didn't see how that they were going to overcome some of the obstacles. But I would say reading. A lot of times, writing is also pretty helpful. Writing down things that you've done. Um, just being around positive people, I think, is one good way to do it. If you're, a lot of times you're trying to change your own environment. In some ways you're doing it internally, by reminding yourself. But if you have other people who are making that more difficult, that can be one way to easily improve, like addition by subtraction. And, and then I don't know, I would just I think those things are important. I think in this reading the stories, that's how I do it. I find some different blogs that I like, and they're usually about different writers and other people who are always struggling and wondering how they're gonna make a difference. And seeing how they did it and knowing that they've already done it, that's what's helping me a lot.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for the interview. It's always fun to catch up with an old Aggie. And so, so Tariq, if viewers want to, one, get your app, where would they get it?
It's just remember when, like remember WIN app.com, rememberoneapp.com. They can go and download it right now.
Perfect. And then the second thing is, if viewers want to contact you and follow you, how would they do that?
I'm on Twitter at Remember Wins, like Remember WINS, and also you can always email me at info@rememberoneapp.com anytime. That goes straight to my inbox.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Tariq. And Tribe, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, every second and fourth Wednesday of the month, there will be new fantastic episodes of Your Drum Your Way.